Every 11 seconds, an older adult in America is treated in an emergency room because of a fall. Every 11 seconds. Not car accidents, not heart attacks, not strokes, falls. And the most terrifying part? Most of those falls happen inside the home, on flat floors, during ordinary moments, walking to the kitchen, walking to the bathroom, walking down a hallway they've walked 1,000 times before. And almost every single time the person says the same thing afterward. I don't know what happened. I wasn't doing anything. I've heard those words more times than I can count in 26 years as a physical therapist. And every time I hear them, I feel the same thing. Not just sadness, but urgency. Because those words tell me that nobody warned that person. Nobody sat them down and told them the truth about what was quietly happening to their body. So right now, I'm going to tell you. Not to scare you, but because you deserve to know. Because knowing this could be the difference between staying in your home and losing your independence completely. Here is what is most likely happening in your body right now, without you realizing it. Somewhere in the last few years, maybe after a close call, maybe just gradually with time, the way you walk changed. Your steps got shorter. Your feet stopped lifting cleanly off the ground. Your body began leaning slightly forward when you move, like you're bracing against something invisible, and your eyes drop toward the floor instead of staying ahead of you. You probably didn't notice it happening. Most people don't. It's one of those changes that arrive so slowly, so quietly, that by the time it's dangerous, it already feels completely normal. This pattern has a name. Physical therapists call it shuffle gait, and it is one of the leading physical contributors to falls in adults over 70. Here's why it is so dangerous, and I want you to really hear this. When your feet shuffle close to the ground, the clearance between your sole and the floor drops to almost nothing. We're talking millimeters, which means a rug edge, a slightly raised tile, a door threshold, even a shadow on the floor that your brain misreads as a step. Any of these becomes a tripwire. There is no margin for error, none. The moment your toe catches something, your body is already going down, not stumbling, falling. Because your steps are short, your weight is pitched forward, and your nervous system no longer has the reaction time it once did. By the time your brain registers what's happening, you're already on the floor. And I need you to understand what a fall means at this stage of life. I'm not talking about a bruise, I'm talking about a fractured hip, which sends 300,000 Americans to the hospital every single year, and which carries a 1 in 4 mortality rate within 12 months. I'm talking about head trauma, internal bleeding, months of rehabilitation, and for many people, a complete loss of the independence they spent their entire life protecting. This is not me being dramatic. This is the reality I watch unfold in clinical settings year after year. But here is what I also know, and this is the part I need you to hold on to. Shuffle gait is not inevitable. It is not permanent. It is not simply what happens when you get older and there's nothing to be done about it. It is a pattern, a learned, habitual pattern that developed because something in your muscles and your movement was not being corrected. And patterns can be changed. The muscles that have weakened, they can be strengthened. The neural pathways that have slowed, they can be rebuilt. The shuffle that has quietly taken over your walk, it can be replaced with something safer, more stable, and more powerful. And it starts with one change. Not a program, not a gym, not a lifestyle overhaul. One specific adjustment to how your foot meets the ground with every single step you take. I've used this with patients who came to me after falls, after fractures, after months of fear. Patients who told me they were done, that their walking days were behind them. And I've watched this one change begin turning that around. Not overnight, but faster than any of them expected. I'm going to show you exactly what this change is, what it does inside your body, and why it works when everything else has failed. Stay with me. This is the most important thing I will ever teach you about staying on your feet. Let me teach you something that should have been taught to you years ago. It's called a heel strike. And before you think, that sounds too simple to matter, I need you to understand something. The most powerful things in physical rehabilitation are almost always the simplest. Not because the body is simple, but because the body is elegant. And when you restore one foundational movement pattern, the effects ripple through everything connected to it. So what is a heel strike? It is exactly what it sounds like. It is your heel, the back of your foot, making contact with the ground first with every single step you take. That's it. That is the change. But let me show you why it matters so deeply. because understanding the why is what will make you actually do it. When you were in your 30s, your 40s, your 50s, your walk had a natural mechanical sequence. Your heel struck the ground first. Your weight rolled forward smoothly through the arch of your foot, across the ball, and pushed off powerfully through your toes to drive the next stride. It was fluid, efficient, automatic. You never thought about it. That rolling motion, heel to toe, does several critical things simultaneously. It controls the speed at which your weight shifts forward, giving your balance system time to adjust. It activates your glutes, your hip flexors, and your core with every stride, keeping those muscles strong without you ever setting foot in a gym. It keeps your stride long, which maintains forward momentum and stability. And it keeps your foot lifted, because when you're pushing off through the toes, the foot naturally rises for the next step with real clearance. Now here is what shuffle gait destroys. When the heel strike disappears, when the foot starts landing flat or toe first, that entire chain collapses. The smooth weight transfer stops. The glutes stop firing. The core stops engaging. The stride shortens. The foot stops lifting. And with every shuffled step, the muscles that should be producing a proper heel strike get weaker because they are not being asked to work. It is a self-reinforcing cycle. The shuffle causes weakness. The weakness deepens the shuffle. And the whole time, the risk of falling quietly grows. Correcting this interrupts that cycle at its root. Here's what I want you to do right now. Just try this as you read. When you stand up from where you are sitting, take your next step and think only about your heel. Reach it slightly forward, 2 or 3 inches more than you naturally would, and let the back of your foot touch the ground first. Then feel your weight shift forward through the arch. Then let the toes push off behind you as you move into the next step. And as you step, lift your foot. Deliberately. Not a shuffle, a lift. Feel the difference? That is your body remembering something it already knows how to do. You are not learning a new skill. You are waking up an old one. Now let me tell you what happens inside your body when you start doing this consistently. Your stride length increases naturally, sometimes by 20 to 30% within just a few weeks, because the heel strike pulls your step forward instead of keeping it tucked beneath your center of gravity. A longer stride means better balance, better momentum, and dramatically lower fall risk. Your foot clearance returns. When the heel leads, the foot lifts. When the foot lifts, rugs and thresholds and uneven ground stop being threats and become just floors again. Your posture corrects itself. This is the one that surprises people most. The heel strike shifts your weight backward and upright, out of that dangerous forward lean, without you consciously trying to stand straighter. The biomechanics do it for you. Your glutes and hip flexors reactivate. These are the engines of safe walking. When they switch back on, even partially, even gradually, your entire lower body becomes more stable, more responsive, and more capable of catching you when something unexpected happens. And your nervous system begins to rewire. The neural pathway for a proper heel strike, which has faded from months or years of disuse, begins to rebuild itself through repetition. Every correct step is a signal. Every signal reinforces the pathway. Every reinforced pathway makes the next correct step easier and more automatic. This is not theory. This is neuroscience. This is how the brain works at every age, including yours. These 5 exercises exist for one purpose: to take the heel strike out of your head and put it into your body. To make it so automatic, so natural, so deeply wired into your movement that you don't have to think about it anymore. It just happens, with every step, in every situation. You need a hallway, a sturdy chair, a rolled towel, and 15 minutes a day. That's the entire investment. Let's make it count. Exercise 1, conscious heel strike walk. This is the foundation. Before your body can do anything automatically, it has to do it consciously, slowly, deliberately, and repeatedly, until the nervous system accepts it as the new normal. Find your hallway. Place one hand lightly on the wall if you need it. Begin walking, but slow down to about half your normal pace. With every single step, your only job is to feel your heel touch the ground first. Reach it slightly forward. Let it land. Feel the weight roll through. Feel the toes push off. 10 steps forward. Turn slowly using small controlled steps. 10 steps back. Rest 30 seconds. Repeat 3 times. Do not rush this. Slower is better. Every slow, conscious heel strike sends a stronger signal to your brain than 10 fast, careless ones. You are not exercising here. You are reprogramming. Treat it with that kind of intention. Exercise 2, high knee march. The hip flexors are the muscles that lift your leg with each step. In shuffle gait, these muscles become significantly weakened from underuse. When they're weak, your foot clearance drops to almost nothing, and every surface becomes dangerous. This exercise targets them directly. Stand behind a sturdy chair, both hands resting lightly on the back. Lift your right knee upward toward your chest, as high as you comfortably can, then lower it with complete control. Then lift the left. That is 1 repetition. 15 repetitions each side, 30 total lifts. Slow, deliberate. The lift should require genuine effort. If it feels easy, you are not going high enough. Keep your torso perfectly upright throughout. Do not lean back as the knee rises. The work must come from the hip, not from body momentum. And lower each foot with the same care you use to lift it. The descent builds the eccentric strength your leg needs every time your foot returns to the ground. Exercise 3, stride length walk shuffle. Gait compresses your stride, often to less than half of what it once was. A compressed stride throws off your entire balance rhythm and keeps your center of gravity dangerously forward. This exercise trains your stride length back toward a safe, stable range. Place 2 strips of tape on your hallway floor, 18 inches apart. With every step, aim to land your heel at or just beyond that second strip of tape. 10 strides down the hallway, turn, 10 strides back, 2 full lengths. Don't lunge or overreach. This is a gentle, confident extension, not an exaggerated stretch. If 18 inches feels too far, begin at 12. Add half an inch every week. Most people are genuinely surprised how quickly their natural stride returns once they begin challenging it consciously. Exercise 4, slow motion walk. At normal walking speed, your body relies on momentum and habit, not conscious muscle control. Which means at normal speed, the shuffle can hide inside your movement without you noticing it. Slow motion walking strips all of that away. Walk at the absolute slowest pace you can sustain. Each step should take 3 to 4 full seconds. Lift, pause, reach, lower, shift, push off. Walk the full length of your hallway. Turn, return. 2 sets. Every wobble you feel during this exercise is your balance system working. Every micro correction your ankle makes is your nervous system rebuilding its response speed. The difficulty is not a sign you're doing it wrong. It is the entire point. Lean into it. When you feel steady, try 2 or 3 steps near the wall with your eyes closed. The proprioceptive challenge accelerates everything. Exercise 5, obstacle step over. Your hallway is safe. Your life is not. Life has rugs, thresholds, pet toys, cords, uneven pavement, and 100 other obstacles that appear without warning. This exercise trains the exact response your body needs in those moments. Place a rolled towel on the floor, 4 to 6 inches high. Stand a few feet back. Walk toward it at a controlled pace. As you approach, slow down slightly. Lift your right foot high and early, well before you reach the towel. Step cleanly over it, then lift and clear with the left foot. Continue forward. Turn. Repeat. 5 passes each direction, 10 total. The key is lifting early and lifting with confidence. You are training your brain to see a hazard, respond before reaching it, and execute cleanly, not panic. Over time, vary the height. Try carrying something light in one hand. Make the training harder than real life, so real life feels easy. Before you begin, safety first. If you've had a recent hip or knee replacement, are managing plantar fasciitis or any heel condition, or have been advised by your doctor to avoid weight-bearing exercise, please consult your physician before starting. Always stay near a wall or sturdy surface. Wear non-slip footwear. Never push through sharp pain or dizziness. Stop immediately if something doesn't feel right. Your safety is the priority, always. Progress at your pace and be proud that you're here. I want to tell you something I don't say lightly. What you just watched, these 4 parts, this one change, these 5 exercises, this is not content I put together to fill a video. This is what I wish I could go back and give to every patient I've ever seen walk through my clinic door after a fall. Every person who sat across from me, confused, frightened, in pain, and asked me why nobody told them sooner. I can't go back and reach those people before their falls happened, but I can reach you. And so I need you to take what you've learned today seriously. Not kind of seriously, genuinely seriously. because the gap between knowing this and doing this is exactly the gap between staying safe and becoming a statistic. Here is the truth about falls after 70 that the medical system doesn't say loudly enough. Most falls are not accidents. They are the end result of a long, silent process. Muscles weakening, movement patterns degrading, neural pathways slowing, that nobody addressed because it wasn't obvious yet. The fall is just the moment it finally became obvious. By then, the damage is already done. What you now have is the ability to address it before that moment arrives. The heel strike is not a magic cure, it is a reset, a return to the fundamental movement pattern your body was built for, one that keeps your muscles firing, your foot clearance safe, your posture upright, and your nervous system sharp. When practiced consistently, it doesn't just reduce your fall risk, it rebuilds the physical foundation that your independence rests on. I've watched 74-year-olds who came to me barely trusting their own legs walk out of my clinic with a stride that surprised them. Not because I did something extraordinary, but because they did something consistent, every day, small, deliberate, committed. That is available to you right now. So here is what I'm asking you to do, starting today, not tomorrow. The next time you stand up from where you are sitting, reach your heel forward. Land it first. Roll through the foot. Push off with the toes. Lift the foot. One step, then another, then another. Do it walking to your kitchen. Do it in the parking lot. Do it in the grocery store. Do it every single time you move from one place to another, because every step is a repetition, and every repetition is a signal to your nervous system that this is the new pattern. This is how we walk now. And once a day, preferably in the morning, spend 15 minutes with those 5 exercises. The conscious heel strike walk, the high knee march, the stride length walk, the slow motion walk, the obstacle step over. 15 minutes, done with intention, done consistently. Within 2 weeks, you will feel a difference. Not a dramatic transformation, but a realness under your feet that perhaps hasn't been there in a while. A solidity, a sense that the ground is trustworthy again. Within 6 weeks, the heel strike will begin to feel natural. Your stride will be longer, your posture will be more upright. The shuffle, if it was there, will have faded significantly. And within 3 months, you will move through your life differently. Not just physically, but psychologically. The low-level fear that lives in the back of the mind of so many adults over 70, the constant quiet awareness that the floor might betray you, will begin to lift. Because your body will have given you back something worth trusting. That is what this is really about. Not just preventing falls, restoring confidence, restoring freedom, restoring the ability to move through your life, your home, your neighborhood, your family, without fear dictating your every step. You deserve that, and it is within your reach. Now, I want to hear from you in the comments. Have you noticed changes in the way you walk over the last few years? Have you had a close call, or do you know someone who has? Tell me your age and where you're watching from. Your experience in the comments could be the thing that convinces someone else to take this seriously. If this video helped you, please like it. Share it with someone you love who is over 70, a parent, a neighbor, a friend. It costs you nothing. It could save them everything. Subscribe if you haven't already. Turn on the notification bell, because every video on this channel is built around one mission, keeping you strong, safe, and fully in control of your own life. I'll see you in the next one. Walk tall, walk safe, walk with intention. Every single step matters.